This is my 1993 Gen 2 Mitsubishi Pajero, and believe it or not, it's broken. I thought that buying a 32-year-old four-wheel drive would be a fantastic idea, and it has been, but not necessarily in the way that I thought it would be. And working on vehicles has just been one of those things that I've never, well, it's always just been easier and more convenient to take it to a mechanic because I know enough to know that I don't know enough. But as time has gone on, I found myself, well, wanting to broaden my horizons and learn how to fix these sorts of things myself. There's a dead bug in there. And the biggest thing at the moment actually is that the fuel tank has rust in it, and I can do about 500 kilometers before the fuel filter clogs. Oh yeah. But instead of fixing that, I'm going to be remachining this pulley for the air conditioner because priorities. So let's examine this belt together so we all know what I'm dealing with. This thing has spat 3 belts so far. If we look at the damage, basically there are 2 things that caused this: misalignment of the pulleys or a worn pulley. And in this case, I know that it's the pulley. I 3D printed a gauge for an 13A belt profile, and if we stick that in there, you can see that it's not right. I don't know if you can see that actually. See that gap? So basically what we have is a belt that is not contacting the pulley evenly. So it's wearing out the bottom half. All the pressure is, all the wear, all the friction is on the lower half of the belt, and it's not really doing anything at the top. There's no contact. I ordered a new one of these. In fact, I ordered a whole new air conditioning pump because that was the same price as just buying the pulley. But when it got here, it was actually the wrong part. And fun fact about the 93 model is it was still using the engine out of the Gen 1 Pajeros. So this is actually a holdover motor from the Gen 1s. And in my mind, that's actually a good thing. These were a simpler motor, not as powerful, but non-interference, only 12 valves as opposed to 24 valves. They were a much simpler, more robust motor, and they weren't a powerhouse. They'd be considered low compression in today's standards, but you know, really, it's a good unit. So yeah, when the part got here, it was for a Gen 2, like a normal Gen 2 to 3.5 litre motors, and this is a Gen 1 motor, so great. Sent it back. Now I find myself about to try to machine this so that hopefully, as I was saying, so hopefully we can have air conditioning when we go for our Christmas trip down to see the rallies. I just want to point out that this is not the recommended repair. In fact, I've never done this sort of repair before, but I'm a desperate man. I'll be leaving, you know, in 4 or 5 days at this point, and there just isn't time to get the correct replacement part. So here we are. And thankfully, the pulley on this has a little bit of extra meat on it. And so I'm fairly confident at this stage that cleaning it up with this forming tool is going to work. And thankfully, the 3D printed gauge that I made enabled me to get a very good fit, as you can see. All right. Wow. Oh gosh, do I keep going? It hasn't quite cleaned up all of the faces. I can still go a little bit more. Helps if you put it in gear. All right, just came back from the local garage. They were able to get me this belt in overnight. And now the moment of truth is, well, how good did I get it? And of course, I've already looked at this off camera, but from what I can tell, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. But it's a huge improvement compared to what it was. So really, the only thing left to do is to bolt it on and try it. Now, if I was really confident, I would be using red Loctite. But instead I'm using blue because, well, I don't hate myself. And if this doesn't work, I want to be able to get it off again. So blue Loctite will be fine. I apologize if you can't see anything. It's sort of, yeah, there's no way you're seeing this. There we go. Right. The first big trip I did in this car, you'd be going along, you'd go maybe 200k, and suddenly you'd realise the air conditioning wasn't working. And you're like, and then you'd hear the fan belt squeaking, and I'm like, oh. First I thought, well, maybe it's just a new belt and it's stretching in, you know, so it's normal to have to tension it again. But then by the third time you tensioned it, eventually you'd hear a little bit of a thloop, a funny noise, and then you'd stop and check the engine, and sure enough the belt would be completely missing. And I guess that's how we discovered the problem in the first place. Everything's out of the engine bay, pulleys tightened. It's tight. Cool. Let's start her up. Time to engage the air conditioner. Oh, that's nice and cold. Well, I guess for now, I'm going to call that fixed. Air conditioning is good to have in this place. Right. Now to fix the next problem. Pretty sure I mentioned earlier that this car will do about 500 kilometers and then you've got to replace the fuel filter. I really was considering building a fuel tank from scratch. That's something that I can do and have done in the past, but I just don't have time. So I started looking around, and this guy was for sale locally from a local mechanic. Now, he used half of this on another vehicle, but it's the big kit, and there's still a full can of the sealant in here, 1 litre. And so, you know, from what I can tell, this is pretty good stuff. And because it was half used, I got it at a good price. So, the idea is we're going to remove the fuel tank, not in that order. We're going to drain the fuel tank because it's nearly empty. Remove it and start the process of resealing it. Never done this before, but it looks pretty simple. It'll be good enough for the mower. I can smell fuel. Oh, yep. Well, I think the fuel gauge was working just fine. It was just my ability to guess how much fuel was in it that was broken. Alright, that's the fuel pump, that's the fuel sender. So that's what your fuel gauge attaches to. This I've already replaced, and that's when I got the first look inside this tank and saw that it was pretty crusty. Okay, my problem here is I need to undo this, and this fitting is supposed to spin free and independent of that, so you don't twist the crap out of this short piece of rubber fuel hose. And it's seized from sitting there doing nothing for who knows how long, so I'm going to try and free it up. Okay, it's spinning independently now. Hooray! Man, Mitsubishi weren't messing about with this fitting. There we go. Okay. Oh. And that hose is still quite flexible. There's no cracks in it. It's not perished. If that's the original hose, I'm really impressed. I'm extremely impressed. Oh, yes. Okay. Oof, gee, that was nice. Oh, clean as on the inside. Good stuff. Okay. Now this one I know for a fact is going to be fun to get undone. Or not. Fine. Okay, I'll take it. Just needed that harsh talking to the first time around, eh? Yeah. Oh yeah. The filler hose feels a little bit stiff. It might break free. I think that'll come off. Got a jack in place. Oh yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm seeing very little corrosion. Very encouraging. There we go. Let's do it. Oh yes. Oh, this should come down except for the fuel hoses that are still attached. No. Okay. It's probably just stuck. Yep, just stuck. Oh yeah. Okay. It's coming down. Okay, I think we're free of the bolts. The hose is just still attached. That's good. Oh, that's excellent. Okay. It's just the breather. The breather's still stuck. Well, we'll just keep going down a bit. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Come on, breather. Give me a breath. I wonder if a screwdriver If a flat bladed screwdriver couldn't just get in there and break the tension. Oh yeah, that's actually doing something. Oh, that's working. No way. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's done it. Okay, screwdriver for the win. Oh, there's other. Oh, okay. There's 2 other lines that I missed. I don't know what they do. Hopefully they'll come off easy. Oh, there we go. Well, I couldn't have got those anyway until I got to this point. Good thing there's a jack there. Oh, I might have broken something. Oh, my neck. Mechanics must just have necks like tree trunks. Like holding your head up on this angle is just like, holy cow, is that a workout? Oh. Okay. Oof. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's more. There's more. Oh. We're so close, yet so far away. I'll get those off camera. Yeah. Bit of sand on here. The previous owner did take it on the beach. So, yeah. Dispose of you. Oh man, there's so much crud. There is so much crud in there. Okay. This so needed to happen. What's underneath look like? Actually really clean. It's a nice rubbery underbody sealant there. I guess it's factory, but it's very nice. Now, please forgive me for not showing how I made this, but it is fairly self-explanatory. I just made a simple sheet metal part, tack welded a bunch of scrap metal to it and some old RHS, and then welded this to the front of my old cement mixer. And basically, this took about an hour to do, and that's exactly why I did it this way. There's lots of ways to skin this cat. I just chose the quickest and ugliest. Holy cow. Oh, yeah. Oh, my word. Oh, my. Oh, okay, wow. Oh. This is so much worse than I thought. Oh. Holy cow. Oh, like what? The camera is not doing it justice at all. It's almost like, I mean, look at that. That's just a small sampling of what's in there. It almost feels like sand. It could be sand. Like, I don't know. No wonder I only get 500 kilometers before the fuel filter clogs. I want to put some kind of media into this that's going to help sort of scrub it from the inside. And I have some brass media, if you know what I mean. For anyone concerned, all of these have split necks and they are not usable. anymore. And they've got some nice rough edges on them, so except for this one. That one's got military primers, so it's got 2 flash holes, so I can't do anything with it anyway, so we're going to throw that in. This is a lot worse than what I thought it would be, so instead of starting with the treatment that came in the box, I'm going to first hit it with some heavy duty degreaser. This is water soluble, and I'm just making up the ratios. Quite easier to tip it in the top. Still managed to spill a lot. Good. Okay. Oh, and also brass media won't spark. That's why the brass casings are actually a really good, yeah, it's a good idea, I think. I'll probably end up just throwing a heap of nuts in there as well, but just initially, yeah. Cardboard gasket made out of a cereal box. Cornflakes are the best. But Sultana bran is a close second. Oof. I knew that would happen. Let the cleaning commence. I had sort of planned this really amazing shot where after all this tumbling and washing, I was going to crack this open and you were going to see this amazing goo fall out, and I was going to catch it in this bucket and reveal it all, and well, the glove broke, and so it emptied itself. So anyway, the show must go on. Oh, if that noise in the background is the corn harvester doing its thing. So, you know. Alrighty. I'm impressed with these cardboard gaskets. I'd say the goo that's left is rust now. Oh yeah. And there'll be lots of it. All right. I just heard my camera go click, which means that I turned it on but didn't press record. So you missed out on all the action where I got a rag and wiped it out and got the residue. But now I'm looking in here and we have a really clean tank, bar some rust and the odd pebble. I did end up throwing some rocks in there because it just seemed like a good idea at the time. But I've had to really pay a lot of attention and check. In between, there's like a pipe that runs around in there, and there are quite a few pebbles caught underneath it. So if you're going to do this, I wouldn't recommend using rocks. Only that my concern is that a rock would get caught between one of the pipes that are in there and potentially rub through the tank over a period of time. So that's my concern. But I'm pretty sure I've got them all out now. And it did a really good job. I'm going to try to show you in there. It's a big difference. At the end of the day, it's kind of hard to film in there, but I think you can see that there is a huge improvement. Well, I guess the next step is the rust treatment. This, I can see myself now. Man, I'm ugly. Okay, so I need to put some of this on the outside of this fuel tank now, and I am obliged under international law to mention on the internet that if you're using this stuff, which is phosphoric acid, do not dip the brush directly in the bottle when applying it. If you do, once the brush contacts metal and contacts the acid, it starts a reaction. And this stuff is it's not like a vapor rust. It's a once-off use. So if you brushy metal and put brushy in this container is useless. It'll start the reaction inside this bottle and it'll be all used up. It becomes worthless. So decant this into a plastic container. Okay, now I'm going to let this thing spin around a bit longer, but while it's spinning, it might as well have this stuff on it because, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. And I just put way too much in this bit anyway. We'll use it. Sorry. Also, wear gloves when you do this, but I have welder's hands, meaning they're impervious to most things. They're not really, just wear gloves. I've used all my gloves to seal this tank. You know it's working when she's fizzing up on the surface. That's good. Now this stuff, when it contacts rust, it sort of goes off and it sets hard and sort of creates a temporary layer of rust protection because it converts the ferric oxide to something else. But where it doesn't contact rust, it seems to just hang around and leave a kind of a gooey, sticky mess. And so if you want, after applying this and it's set, it's probably not a bad idea to wash it off. Though I'm pretty sure that in the long run it won't actually affect anything. You can leave it there as a pseudo-rust preventative. Or get the rest of that later on, I think. Well, I ended up spilling half of it, but it's done. Well, yesterday's fun was cut short because I had to go to work. And it's the day before Christmas Eve. And at this stage it looks like we're leaving tomorrow, meaning I need to get everything back together and tested before I have to cover yet another shift tonight. Because I'm working night shift at the moment. So yeah, no pressure. With the tank now clean and rust-free, this is where I would be using the sealant to sort of finish the job. But unfortunately, I just don't have time to do that now. But I'm not that concerned because, you know, the tank is in really good condition now. Dare I say, it feels like I've done a bit of a factory reset. And I'm confident that, you know, it lasted 32 years the way it was, and it'll probably do another 32 years.